YouTube. You like that one? We're doing better intros every day. Listen, this is SEMA prep time. We got to get the jumpacan ready. Here's what we're working on. All the rest of the stuff that we didn't get done in the last episode. So the best car that you can imagine this being. Bigger ride height, front end done, skid plate, fresh paint, vinyl wrap. One second, I gotta figure out all we're gonna do in this episode, hang on. Here's the thing, we thought about being like this big old surprise and kind of doing the final wrap up and the final visualizations and showing it off at SEMA. The problem is that the SEMA people would see it before you YouTube people, and you YouTube people give us the ability to have this amazing job that we love so much, so we're not gonna do that. We are gonna get the car fully SEMA ready in this episode. So you guys will be 100% up to date and know what the car looks like before it is unveiled at SEMA. Which means we have an astronomical amount of work to do over the next 3 days, and I invite you along for the journey. Let's go. Before we get down to work, let's play a little game. I'm gonna say this episode is sponsored by, and then you guess, and you're right, it is Raid Shadow Legends, the mobile game that came down from heaven to bless us with entertainment and sponsorship opportunities. Do you guys like elves? That's a question I've never asked anybody before. I love the movie. They're in a lot of movies. Pretty cool, elves are, and Raid has a lot of them, especially the dark variety. I think they mean that that's like on the demonic side, not like dark chocolate, like they have extra cacao. Is that how you pronounce that? In Teleria, we've got two types of elves. They used to be just elves, but well, about 700 years ago, Sirath tempted some of them away from the light. Not with evil powers or anything crazy like that. He just tempted them with art and philosophy. Probably could have tried using chocolate. When the Arbiter found out that they'd been tempted by Sirath, she got really worried about Sirath's influencers and begged the elves to stop. And some did, but others doubled down, and that's where the dark cult stuff started growing. Naturally, it didn't take very long for a war to start, and the High Elves won, but not in any kind of permanent way. They keep trying to fix the relationship between the Elves and the Dark Elves, but we're 700 years in and they're still not getting along. So time doesn't really heal everything, I guess. If you ask me though, I'd say the Dark Elves are awesome enough already. They're a legion of evil assassins and warlocks, and who doesn't like a good bad guy? These guys look really cool though. The faction has a lot of variety and design detail. Here's a couple of them to look at on the screen. It's pretty cool. A couple things I personally really love about Raid. First off is the PvP. I love being able to take my builds and my characters and go head to head with other people in real life and see how I'm faring. Pushes me to play the game even further. And the other thing I really love is their character modeling. The detail that goes into the characters and the scenery modeling and everything. For a mobile game, it's very, very impressive, and I love the looks of the new characters as they're always coming out. And there's a ton of stuff happening in Raid this month. They've got big special events every single day, and they've got some new champions. But the big update that's coming this month is the Guardian Ring. It's a new feature that gives you a ton of new ways to use your champions, including a whole faction Guardian system, and a new way to get legendary champions that you might have missed out on, and an entirely new way to upgrade your favorite champions. It's a very big update that the Raid community is super stoked on. And with all that going on, there has never been a better time to download Raid. If you want to get a head start, all you gotta do is click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen right here, and you'll get an epic hero, Chinoru, who's amazing in the Doom Tower. You're gonna get 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get in the game. All the treasure's gonna be waiting for you right here. And remember guys, these rewards are only available for the next 30 days and only for new players. It's that easy guys, just click the link in the description and I'll see you in the game. Huge thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this episode. Let's get down to work. Look at that, we started off the episode with time lapse. We didn't even talk about what we're doing. Brake calipers have been collecting rust from the dust that comes off of the brake rotor, lands on the caliper, and it's wanting to rust up. So we wanted to give them a fresh coat of paint. It'll help us clean and maintain them. Brake calipers painted. If you don't know how to paint brake calipers, you just mask them off like this, and then you give them a coat of brake caliper paint, which you can buy at any automotive store. Next, we're moving on to the front bumper is the big thing that Oscar's gonna be focusing on and working on. Let's do a little bit of cutting, a little bit of modifying, a little bit of re-supporting, and then I will kind of show you guys through what's going on. The main thing is we need to have a skid plate, so the next time we slam in at this thing right here, it actually skids off of it rather than digging in. So we're doing a skid plate that'll lead out to a steel front bumper that has some crumple in it. etc., etc. Oscar, feel free to cut away. Alright guys, I told you I'd explain what's going on in the front end, and after it lost some weight and then some semi-embarrassing curved bits, here's the game plan. We are building a skid plate. It's going to come off of this thing, kind of like this, and come out and meet up to our front bumper. So that's going to come out here. Now, we have disconnected the lower frame rails from the upper frame rails, which loses a lot of structural integrity, but we're going to gain that back when we weld in cross supports coming from the uppers down to the lower, upper down to the lower, and that should box everything back in and give us all that structural integrity right back. So we're going to go ahead and do that now and then start working on some of the next pieces of our front bumper. We're building a tubular front bumper that's going to hold a 20-inch rough country light bar right in the front of that, and then that will complement the light bar that we'll have up there eventually. While Oscar's working on that, Kyle's continuing to paint the brake calipers, and I am cutting templates for our quarter glass. Now, it is a little silly to have glass right here, but if you didn't have glass right here, what else would you have right there? And that's what I thought too, so now I'm making windows. Morning everybody, it's the next day. So yesterday was Wednesday, today is Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, Friday's our last day. So the game plan is kind of, today we're trying to finish all the fabrication and installation and leave vinyl wrapping and painting and cleanup and that type of stuff for Friday, get it on the truck by the end of Friday. Let me show you how far we got last night. Progress-wise, the great Oscar the Fabricator has gotten our new support bar coming in here. We've boxed in this whole thing. If you follow my finger, that makes a box and that supports those rails from being able to munch each other. Our skid plate will connect the bottom of those rails up even better. So right now he's working on this cross piece here, and I'll show you basically when the cross piece of the front bumper is done. I'm very excited about how it's going to look, and I mean, just the work that we've done so far is honestly a pretty big upgrade. We have got, the Harry Potter marathon going on. We're starting episode, or the first movie right now. We shall be Octobering it up all day long. And the next thing we're going to be working on is removing our coilovers. I told you guys I would get the ride height correct on this vehicle. That means new springs. But the third set of springs for this thing, they should be the correct poundage based on mathematics and science and guessing. So anyways, the coilovers are going to come out, they're going to get cleaned up, they're going to get new springs on them, and they're going to stay out until we get everything else cleaned up, because you can see that ain't exactly pretty. Once we get everything else cleaned up, they'll go back in and the vehicle will sit exactly where we want it to. While Kyle's doing coilovers, I'm going to do some upgrades in the interior. I got a new carbon fiber fascia and I got a new dash. This thing went through 118 degrees in the sun, so I don't know what that means on the surface, but I can tell you this metal was so hot that when somebody touched it, it immediately burnt their skin to a blister. So that was over the melting point. So I got some higher melting point 3D printer filament, and for the last 35 hours I've been 3D printing a new dash at even higher resolution as well. So I got a new one of these, little dash surround. I got new carbon fiber for down there. I'm gonna go ahead and install our screen as well, start getting the interior together again.
That's a lot of sirens. I don't know if you guys can hear on the camera, but there's a lot of sirens around us. Anyways, I wanted to show you the freshly upgraded interior. We didn't really do any changes, we just did small improvements. That's kind of like what we're supposed to be all about here at BS for Build. We try things, and if it doesn't work out, we fix it. So before, I did a carbon fiber facade, and I used glue. Under the extreme heat, the parts that weren't glued kind of warped or stretched or did something. It created like some bubbling that really didn't look very good. So I got much thicker carbon fiber. This doesn't require any glue at all. I also noticed there was some like rusting in there because we didn't have paint on all of the exposed steel. So cleaned up the rust and then repainted it all. We've got our Holley dash back in there, that bad boy, the giant one. And then our small dash, we've got our new Lee 3D printed, let me move around this bar. Our newly 3D printed dash surround, and then we've got the mini dash that's the driver focus one back in there. So I would say the interior is back to what we've always envisioned it. Now I've got to wire some stuff up, plug it all in, and double check that all the electrical is still working. In the front of the car, things look a little interesting. We're testing clearances on the front bumper. So you guys saw the original front bumper being built. It's just like straight bar, bend, straight post, straight post. It was a little too plain Jane. We wanted to mix it up a little bit, get a little bit more aggressive. So we did angled down chutes that are coming down, a little bit longer arms. But we wanted to make sure that these wouldn't hit the tire. They do look like they would. They don't. They don't hit the control arm either under any circumstance. So this is a really cool bumper, very aggressive look, and we're going to continue to start building off of this. So now we're going to do the hoop that comes from here up and then back down, and that houses our front light bar. And while that is being built, and we're going to work on figuring out where to put the front light bar, Kyle and I are going to work on the upper front light bar. Now you see this little RC, this is for Rough Country. The guys over at Rough Country have been supporters of the channel for a very long time. They're super nice people. I can't say enough great things about their company, but also their employees have been really kind and really caring and just really awesome people. So they were like, hey, do you guys need anything for the SEMA build? And I said, yeah, I need a couple light bars. So thanks to them for sending out the light bars. They also send us some square lights for whenever we do want to build some headlights in here. We've got a really cool square light assembly. So check out the link in the description to Rough Country. They make a lot of really great products, mostly off-road oriented. So give them a look-see. See if you find anything you want. Anyway, so that light bar is going to go up there. One light bar is going to go there. We're going to focus on building that stuff. Good morning, citizens of YouTube. Today's Friday. It's our last day to build. We'll definitely be building overnight, but Saturday morning, this car has to leave for SEMA because it has to be on display by Sunday. So, we got a whole lot done last night. We almost reached our goal. I would say man hours wise, we're only like 10 hours behind. So if we divide that by 3 of us, we only have to stay up all night long. Let me show you where we got. The tubing for the front bumper is all done. It's exactly how we want it, so I'm really stoked on that. Oscar's already started on the skid plate. We're gonna mock up some changes with cardboard. We're not sure if we're gonna leave it just like this, which I do like the look of, or we might add some triangulation on the corners there. So that's all done. Also, what we got done last night that you probably saw was the light bar mounting. We have the rear light bar, the front upper light bar, and the front lower light bar, or the bumper light bar. We have all 3 of those are all mounted exactly how we want them. They are not wired yet, and that will be a project for today. Now today, the focus is, well, it's finishing everything, so there will be quite a transformation that you'll see by the end of today, but a lot of the focus was to be doing repainting, paint touch-up, vinyl wrapping, and then final installation. Before we can move into any of that stuff, we got to finish our fab work, and that would be finishing up the old skid plate right here, and then also the plating in the front. Just like how we did in the back to show the body lines and to show the body, we want to do that in the front. So there's a plate that goes here, plate that goes here, small one here, big one here, mirrored on the other side. So that's what we're going to be working on right now, finishing the bumper, doing the front plating, and then we can work into the kind of transformative part of this where everything looks pretty.
front end fabrication is complete. Minus this bar is not part of it, guys. So just don't you believe that for a second. We decided with our front skid plate that is what 3/16 inch steel, and it is not. We did not do the V out thing. We really like the way that it looks like this, so we just kept it like that, nice and simple. Kyle and I have been working on the templating. We're going to continue to finish out the templating, so we need to do a piece here, and we have a small front piece right there. Fred is here from WrapCo. I will put a link in the description. The best at wrapping in the Northwest if you guys need a wrap. He's going to help me wrap the roof because this is a pretty technical spot. We got to go all the way from back here, all the way down the A pillars to get it that one consistent, nice, glossy look. So he's going to help me wrap up this roof. I'm going to pay attention, practice, learn from him, and then I'll be wrapping the door and continuing to wrap the rest of the stuff we need to do. And Oscar's going to build something amazing because that's just what he always does. Yeah, so let's get to it. We just realized a little bit ago that we have 13 hours. Starting like right now, we have 13 hours left until this thing has to go on the trailer. So it's crunch time. The roof is wrapped. It looks so much better. The bodywork that we did also came out really nice too. You can't really tell where any of the dents were. Also has a protective film on it. We'll peel that off when we get to SEMA, so it'll be like the freshest new wrap. The guys ran to the store, so it's just me and you guys right now for a second. It's 7:30, so we're not too late yet. My guess right now is we'll work till 10 a.m. and then we'll get the car loaded up and Kyle will head off. Physically, I'm hanging in here pretty well. I'm a little sore. Once it gets late at night, like everything starts hurting, but it's okay. I'm not hurting myself any by pushing through. I did want to say though, if you guys see me at SEMA, do keep in mind that I am still healing up from a major surgery. So there's a couple silly things. If you see me wearing my pants low in the videos or walking around, it's because I had a surgery like on my groin, and there's a scar there, and there's scar tissue and an incision that's healing up. So pants being low kind of gets under that scar line with the waist of the pants, doesn't hurt as bad. And I walk slowly, and I might walk with a bit of a gangster lean, but it's not because I think I'm cool, it's just because I'm handicapped. So just so you guys know. But with that being said, we are going to SEMA to meet all of you guys, so if you see us and you want to say hi, do not hesitate. We're there to meet people, to hang out, to take pictures, to talk about cars and everything like that. So definitely do, if you see us and you want to say something, just don't hesitate at all. Come right up. Doesn't matter if we're talking to anybody or anything else like that. Just come join the conversation. Back on the topic of the car, we've got the paneling templated out. We're going to be making panels. We're going to be starting to paint and refresh paint and clean things all around. A little bit of functionality left to be built in, like I'm doing door handle block offs is a pretty hard one, and there's not a lot of functionality left to be built in. So a lot of cleaning, a lot of painting, a little bit of plating. We're getting very close. Hi guys, it is 3 a.m. We have all the plates made for the front. All the tabs are done for the front as well. So now it's time to clean and paint. That's what Oscar's doing. I have been vinyl wrapping. I vinyl wrapped that door so it matches the other door. and I've been vinyl wrapping the paneling for the rear quarter panels. So that's what I'm gonna do. Continue just getting all those things. So it's like paint on one side, vinyl wrap on the other side, and it's actually looking very, very nice. So I think I've said this a few times, but now it's time for the real transformation. We're not gonna really interrupt anymore. There's nothing else to do other than really just throw some paint on this stuff, get everything vinyl wrapped, and reassemble the vehicle. Also worth mentioning, Kyle is asleep right now because he has to drive tomorrow. He is driving this vehicle by himself all the way to SEMA. I have to fly to meet him there. I can't road trip with him because my back, I can't do that many hours in a vehicle. So he's getting his sleep, which is responsible. The words are getting a little hard to come to the old noggin. All right, let's wrap this baby up. I bet it will be sunlight by the time I see you again. Well guys, it's, what time is that? 10:38 a.m. So we're a couple hours past our deadline, but we are complete. We didn't get to do everything that we wanted to do. Light bars aren't wired up. I'm gonna wire them at SEMA. But we got all of the fabrication done that we wanted to do, and I'm really excited with how this thing looks. I will give you a full and thorough walk around in the next episode at SEMA. But for now, like I said, we're behind schedule. We gotta get this thing outside and on the trailer. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you would like to see from my episode at SEMA. I'm going to SEMA. I'm gonna film an episode. Let me know what you'd like to see in that episode. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with us. One more year down, one more amazing build that we're bringing to SEMA. Thanks for being a part of this. We'll see you on the next one.